What's up, guys? So today's video is very exciting for me. I've been waiting for this for a long time now. Been planning on it for a minute, and we have partnered with Morimoto Lighting. I've been wanting to switch up the headlights on the rig, and they're already retrofitted, but I've been wanting to do something very different, something I've never seen before, you know, almost like the chop on the GX, and kind of fit the crazy look. The headlights right now are already retrofitted, and they have Morimoto 4 bangers as the low beams, 2 bangers as the high beams. My friend made them like that, and then we traded headlights a while ago, but now we are doing a full, completely different build on a set of headlights. Partnering with Morimoto is very exciting. I'm really stoked to use their lights and also not only use them for the headlights, but also for the bumpers and the ditch lights. So we have an amazing set of lights to work with on this project. Very excited to show y'all. And so this will be just the progress of making the headlights, building them out, retrofitting them, and I'll show you everything that we got to do that. We'll go through step by step and see if we can get all of this done before the Save Expo so that hopefully you can see them in person at our booth. I've had different brands of lights throughout the years, and I've had Morimotos for a couple years now, and they've been the most reliable. They have had great output, honestly. Been loving them in the headlights I already have now, but this is gonna be so much better and really let them shine, do what they're supposed to do, and I think it's gonna be really cool. Yeah, let me show you what we're gonna do. So these are my current headlights now. As you can see, they are very faded. The clear coat is coming off, in much need of a refresh. And then also the back end has gotten loose and letting all of this mud in here. So it just always looks dirty no matter how much I clean it on the outside. And as you can see, I have the 4 bangers as the low beams, 2 bangers as the high beams. So that's gonna be a similar layout, but also look very different for what we're going to do. And so it's gonna just look so much cleaner and a lot better. Really excited to have a blank canvas for this front end and change up all the different lights. So we're gonna have a amazing set on this front end. All right, so here is what I have. This is going to be a open lens design. So I've kind of traced out the OEM lens and cut it out, and then all of this will be remaining, and then I've painted the inside housing black. And so basically what I'm going to do is paint the rest of this outer housing the same color as the car, so it'll be color matched to the vehicle, and I will clean up all these edges, so don't worry about all that. This is basically just kind of mostly a mock-up. But I think it's going to look really cool with all the lights inside. And so these are some of the Morimotos I already have. These are 4 bangers, and I'm going to clean all those up and reuse them. And so basically what we're going to do is do the 4 bangers as the low beam, and those will be HXBs, and then some other 4 bangers in here, which will be those. And then we're going to do the 2 bangers and the 1 banger right here. So that's going to be a full set in the housing. And then we're also doing a strip light, which I'll show you later right here. So that will be the DRL or turning signal, because for these GXs, the DRLs are the turning signals. So basically when the lights are off, it'll be one single strip. And so that's what you'll see on the car when it's just sitting. And I think that's going to be perfect and look really sick. And that way, like, no mud or anything. If it does get in the housing, just wash it out. It's going to be really nice because there's not going to be that lens there to block it and get faded and scratched and, you know, clear coat coming off. So these will just have the lens that's in them and have the most output they can have. So it's going to be really nice and super excited, but I will be reusing the Morimoto lights in the headlights already. And so 2 bangers will go here as well, and then those other 4 bangers will go to the bumper. And we'll talk about the other lights that we'll be adding to the bumper as well here soon. So this is the idea, and I think it's going to look really cool. So now that you see my idea and the vision, Now it's time to take these old housings off and open them up. Okay, so as you can see, these are very dirty. There's a lot wrong with them. Like these things like popped in, and I just never kept up with the sealant around them. Fell through, and that's why there's a bunch of mud in there. Obviously, these do a much better job with that, and I have a lot of newer stuff to work with. So now my plan is basically to take these all the way apart, reuse as much as I can reuse. All this I won't be needing, just the pigtails to the current lights. These are already mounted in there, so basically I'm just gonna like replicate that mounting and do it in there. So now let's take these apart, which I'll probably have to put them in the oven to heat up the sealant around it, and hopefully try not to break these tabs like I just almost did. But all those tabs are good. I just have the actual back housing. I've put those in a safe place so I don't actually break them. My other ones, I broke those. So let's try not to do that. But yeah, so let's take these apart and see what we can do. Okay, so you can see we got everything taken apart. These are the way that they were cut open to fit the 4-bangers before. You can see I've already been kind of using this as practice to fit the 4-banger in the high beam for the new housing. Got all that out, already took some of the halos out and stuff like that. But so now we can use these kind of like test some different fitment options, see what would be best for the new housings, and go from there. I've already kind of been cutting into the new ones, and I didn't really get any footage of when we were actually doing it. Test fitted low beam already, and then last night I cut in a little bit and got the high beam to fit in here, just notching it out all around, and then I'll smooth all this out and, you know, sand it down and whatnot. And then once I'm done fitting everything, then I'll repaint it again, this like matte black, and then get everything mounted permanently, and then put the lens on, and, you know, etc, etc. 2 bangers still going here, 1 banger kind of just slides in. And I have a couple ideas on how to actually mount that properly, but with the bracket it won't fit. Alright, so now I am just sanding these lenses down. Basically, I already cut them a long time ago, and then now I'm just kind of like sanding it smooth on all the edges as much as I can. It's not going to look perfect at all, but it'll be a lot smoother. So I've just been using 80 and 100, and then just kind of going over it off like softly as well. But this one's good, and this one's good. So smooth at least. And then I'm gonna sand this down a little bit more. I did kind of with like a grinder, but a long time ago. But I'll do a little bit more, and then I'm gonna prime these. I'm gonna set up my little temporary paint booth and prime these, and then mix up my paint and activator and paint them same color as the rig. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so I got both of them sanded and masked off, as you can see here. I masked off all the like holes that the little screws go in to hold the lens to the housing. and stuff like that, because obviously if you get paint in there, then it's screwed. My temporary paint booth set up. This is hilarious, but open it up and then you get your little thing. I think it'll be good enough to keep most stuff off of it, so should be okay. I'm just using some old sheets. So I'm gonna be priming it, spray with the carbon fiber metallic gray is the color for the car. Be spraying with that. It's just Summit Racing single stage, so just prime and then spray a bunch of coats of that. You can do clear on top of that, but I probably won't because I didn't do it on the car. So I want it to match as much as possible. So yeah, so let's see what we can do now. Alright, so I just started painting the lenses in my little paint booth, and it's okay. One of them actually fell on the other one, so it kind of made some scuff marks, but might have to get some more paint to repaint those. But anyways, now we're moving on to this while that dries. So as you can see, I cut all these openings, so now I need to match it to the other one. So basically eyeballing it, really, because there's no really like set measurements you can go by. So I just have to like play with each one and stick it in there like this and like see how it fits. Okay, cool. And then match that to the other side. So yeah, hopefully we can do that. Alright, so I got that one cut up, and that's pretty dang close. So not too bad. And honestly, like, just by feeling all the corners and everything at the same time, it's pretty even, actually. So basically the way that these are going to be mounted is like have a backing of glue, like heavy duty glue on the back end and in between all the seams and everything, so it'll keep it exactly in place. Same here, and then same with the top one as well. And then I think I'm gonna wrap a half circle or 3/4 circle like LED ring or like thing that you can bend over. Probably the best, that way it covers it up, but we will see when we get along the way. Now I'm just getting all my stock harnesses from the car and cleaning them up, adding loom to them, heat shrink, all that stuff, and then just like generic plugs. So that way on every single light I can have one of these, and it just plugs in and plays. So that way, like, if I take the bumper off, I mean, you know, self-explanatory, if you take anything off, you just unplug it. So yeah, and it's all waterproof, or at least water resistant, so it should be fine. So I got my low beam and my high beam, and then this is the harness for the DRL and turn signal. So I gotta figure out which one's which and go from there. Alright, so I got my DRL and turn signal. This is my high beam and then my low beam. So now they're all loomed and protected, look clean. So they'll just be all ready to plug into that light. Alright, so I just wanted to stop in here to show you what all the lights I got, you know, before I get too carried away in installing them, which I kind of had on some of them, as you can see on my ditch lights. And in the headlights, I've already installed the 1-bangers, but I just wanted to show you everything else that we will be adding. So we have these big bangers here, and then these are the HXB 4-bangers, and that's the wide lens, so that's going to be the low beam headlight in the housing. And then we have the 2-bangers as well. That's going to go in that little slot. and then the one banger is going in the other little slot, and they actually fit so perfectly, honestly. So yeah, you can kind of see it fits very well in there, and then that 2 banger goes right there. 4 and 4. And then last but not least, we have some more 4 bangers as the ditch lights, and on the bumper as well. So you can see here, it's gonna be all amber on the bumper and ditch lights. So our big bangers will go in the middle. These outer ones are new. Those are just NCS combos, 4 bangers. Same on that side. The inner ones I've had before, those are the ones from the old headlights. These are just NCSs as well, 4 bangers. Those are new. So yeah, so let's get all of these installed because I cannot wait. All right, and then to mount the big bangers to the hoop, I just have like some generic little mounts right here, and they just clamp onto the tube, and they have these different rubber inserts so you can just, you know, according to how thick your tube is, you can adjust it. And so I had those before with the lights I had previously, and they worked fine. So I'm gonna reuse these mounts. And then these brackets here are for the big bangers, and basically they're the top mount brackets. So normally they're made to just, you know, sit down like that and be mounted from the bottom. So these brackets are the extensions where you can mount it from the top. So that's what I'll be doing, mounting from the top where it hangs down. Okay guys, so it's been a while since that last clip. I just got really busy, had to finish everything before the Save Expo. Finished at like 2 a.m. and we had to leave at like 4:30. So finally finished everything, made it to the expo. It was great, and I love the way they look. And a lot of you got to see them at the expo and on Instagram, so because it's been a while since then now, but I've just kind of come in to finish the video and kind of give the main reveal. So hopefully it kind of inspired you to do something different with your headlights and just do something not so cookie cutter and be original. And hopefully you guys like them. But yeah, let's take a look at the headlights.
Okay, So you just saw some of the low beam footage, and obviously they're not like made for headlights, but for low beams, what they do is honestly pretty impressive, and it works like perfect for what I need it to. And then all the lights inside the headlight itself just add so much more without having anything on the bumper on. And then obviously once you add all the other lights, then it just, you know, lights everything up. So it's really good. Super happy how they turned out, and turn signals work. All that is, you can see it with the lights on and everything. So it's all good. But yeah, guys, thanks again for watching the video. This was definitely a fun project. Thanks again for Morimoto partnering with me. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next video.